was almost 45 years ago when Houston was shocked by the death of Joe Campos Torres, a Vietnam veteran who was killed by Houston police. He was arrested, beaten, and tossed into Buffalo Bayou. The protests were going on then and through the years as his family sought justice. The initial outcome, 2 officers received a $1 fine and a 1-year probation. Let that sink in for a minute. 1-year probation, $1 fine. It's no wonder the Hispanic community and all who cared were upset and protesting. Federal prosecution led to a bit more of a penalty, but no one served more than 1 year. Justice is not the word to describe that series of events. But that's the name of the pavilion to be dedicated in Houston to his memory. Rick Molina is a nephew of Joe Campos Torres. Gilbert Garcia, the managing partner of Garcia, Hamilton and Associates, who's helping with the effort to establish the Joe Campos Pavilion, the Justice Pavilion. Thank you both for being here. And Rick, it's not lost on me that you were born into the family's fight for this.
Right.
What has this challenge been throughout the years?
Yep, so I was born into it about 5 years after the event happened. And early on, we saw a lot of the need for these kinds of actions to still continue and to speak on these kinds of cases. And early on, I saw, especially growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, seeing the unity between the different organizations that were around then that were still continuing that fight.
Well, I noticed that recently, it took until this past summer, Chief Troy Finner apologized to the family. What did that mean to you and to the family, just to get an apology?
Right, that was something pretty significant and something that was kind of being thought about a few maybe years ago and stuff, and then when he came into his position, came up in conversation again, and what that would even look like, you know, what would that mean to the family? And we had a lot of discussion behind that, and when we finally came to the agreement in terms that, you know, it would be a significant start because something like that has never happened, you know, and it's a start of other things to come. Start of other things to come, and that brings us up to the pavilion. Gilbert, how and why are you involved in this effort?
Sure. This is much more important than just an event from 1977. This is an event for all the Latino community, where we are really rallying to bring closure to such a terrible event and want to make something positive out of it. And it is our hope that right there, the actual grounds, the hallowed grounds, where his life was taken and where we know that other prisoners were beaten, it was called the Hole, that we're going to make some sort of area for people to reflect and to really pray and come together forever. It's a way for Houston to heal and the Latino community to heal, which is why we're behind it.
We have a picture of him, and as we look at that picture in his uniform, that just shows he had served his country, came back to deal with the hands of Houston police. The details of what happened, Rick, to your uncle seem incredible to this day. Apology was great. Now a pavilion. What are you interested in seeing come from a pavilion being erected, and what people will take away from that?
Right. So, you know, being involved in activism, especially police brutality activism over the years, a lot of it has happened at different areas, whatever the occasion calls for. One of the things that we're hoping for this pavilion is for it to be kind of a center point where people can kind of focus these events and continue with other different things. And it's a very center point in downtown Houston, in the middle of the criminal justice district, and it has potential to create that kind of area to where we can continue these conversations.
And you know, Kimbrell, the only way to make sure it doesn't happen again is to make sure we remember that it happened in the first place. And that way we can sort of reflect and learn from it, so it doesn't happen again.
So the dedication for this is set for April the 2nd, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so what's going to be happening on that day?
On April the 2nd, we'll have a gathering at 10 a.m. with all the elected officials, the family. His grandmother will be there, the sister of Joe Campos Torres. I mean, she's been waiting all these years for this moment. Joe Campos Torres' sister will be there. There's going to be a 21-gun salute, all kinds of wonderful things in his memory, so we can all really celebrate his life that was taken from him too early, and again, begin to reflect on those events. We're going to have a lot of historical figures from back then also come and speak.
So if somebody wants to get involved and support this, how can they do that?
Well, they can reach out to either one of us. We are heavily involved with the members of LULAC as well.
Okay.
And they can get more information from them. But the main thing is April 2nd at 1 o'clock.
Oh, excuse me, 1 o'clock.
April 2nd, 1 o'clock is when we're doing the land dedication, and that'll be with different city officials and stuff like that. Also culminating with a performance from Little Joe, which is...
Little Joe's going to play. Little Joe y La Familia, a very popular Tejano artist, is going to be playing there on the grounds.
Good. That's good. I'm going to put all the information for people to contact. If they want to get involved, find out more information about this.
We'll have our contact numbers, and of course, Johnny Mata's been a big leader. You see the Regatasa. These are LULAC legends that really want to see true justice happen.
Yeah, they started it. They were part of the start of
it.
this. That's happening. Hey, thank you so much, Richard Molina, Gilbert Garcia, and we're going to put all the information on our website on the Newsmakers page on click2houston.com.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Very grateful.
Appreciate it, sir.